Welcome back to Grandma Sims. I've shared this build on the gallery so you can download it and follow along. Let's decorate together, and most of all, let's have some fun. Hello, welcome to our second build with the new Enchanted by Nature pack. This one is actually going to be in town. I did start out wanting to really to blend this into the surrounding buildings, but I am just loving these colors on this build. So they're not as vibrant as the surrounding ones, but still I feel it does fit in. So this is going to be an apothecary shop where your sim can pursue that aspiration, and everything is here that you will need. And you will be able to actually open this up as a store. Part of that aspiration is to sell potions. So there is actually going to be a storefront. We will start with that in a minute here. So there will be a place for you to sell all the potions that you make and anything else you want to sell here. But it is set up with businesses and hobbies to be a place where Sims come and buy potions. The owner apartment is half downstairs and half upstairs. Mostly the bedrooms are upstairs. So your sim can also live here, and there will be a garden to grow flowers and herbs in for making your potions. So I do think, oh, and you can meet clients here too. I do know that's part of the aspiration, is to meet your clients and heal them. So that is something you can also do in this space. So everything you need for the new aspiration that comes with this pack will be in this build for you. So this front part here, this front part of the house or the building, is going to be the apothecary store, and where your sim can make the potions and things like that. Originally, I wanted to go with this green. I was really wanting to go with the green. That in the end is not going to work out. You'll see, we'll change that around a little bit, but at some point in time with this pack, I am going to do something with this green. I love the color, and I really want to do something with this color, with all of these pieces. It's just not going to be this build right now. So I did put in a cozy fireplace. Everything in this new pack is just so cute and charming. Of course, it is going to be very pack specific, but that's okay. I think we will be able to find other places to fit some of these things in, where they will, blend in maybe to another build, maybe some cottage living things, or even with horse ranch. I think some of those things could also fit with these colors. Like this wallpaper, I can see that going with some horse ranch stuff, because it has that wood texture. So I really wanted to accent this wall, and I used that new tile to do that. It does help to brighten up the space. I did not want to keep it completely dark. That was kind of why I was going with the green. But I think this works too. Using a lot of things from the new pack to fill in this space. And the rest of the house will have other items, but I really wanted this space to really feel that Enchanted by Nature vibe. So that's what we're going with. So I have been used myself in a few apothecary stores. We have a couple of them in some smaller towns in the area where I live. They're more modern now, but they're still the same thing. They still have, they're still filling prescriptions, and they're using herbs and minerals, and I think even some animal parts. And a lot of these remedies have been passed down through their families, through their generations. So it's a part, of their lifestyle, of how they're, what their beliefs are. So one of the big things, and you can see it on the apothecary table itself, is a mortar and pestle. Wow. Who would have thought that'd be a hard word? But there is one on the apothecary table, no matter how you say it. And then there is another one in the game, and I will be pulling that out and putting that on the counter next to it. They're still used even today. It's one of the oldest tools that there is in medicine. It's very, very often associated with apothecaries, associated with grinding the ingredients together. And it has not gone away. It is still very much in use today. And if you go to even a modern apothecary store, you'll see them with a mortal and the thing. So if anybody is a big Harry Potter fan, you'll know some of the names of the herbs that the apothecary would be using and still use. Dragon's blood. It's simply just a tree resin. It happens to be red, but it is a real thing. They did not make it up. Also mandrake root and wolfsbane. Those things are all real plants, and they are all still used today to cure different ailments. So if that's something you'd like to, see, you might want to look and see if there's an apothecary store near where you live that you can go visit. So I put in this bathroom just off of the apothecary store here. This is for customers, obviously, or clients that you have come over, that you're meeting with. It's just a comfy little bathroom. I used the new floor from the pack. That it looks like stone, but it is wood, and it is in the wood category. And it does have a wood grain feature to it. And I liked it. I have been trying to use it. I know in my other build I did very much try and use it, but I don't think it's for large spaces for me. I think it's a little intense to be used in large spaces. So I put it in a bathroom, and I put it in a couple bathrooms actually, and I think in there, in that smaller environment, I think that floor works really well. So like I said, with combining packs, this is from Cottage Living. This is the Cottage Living kitchen. And I think it goes well with the vibe we're going here with the apothecary store up front. And then we're going to kind of stay with this country nature vibe throughout the entire build. So that when people come, when your Sims come to visit here, they'll get that nature vibe that comes with this pack. This little door here, now the hallway goes upstairs to the owner's bedrooms, and then the door goes into the apothecary shop, and you will want to lock that so that only household members can come into this part of the build. and it keeps your clients and customers who are purchasing in the front part of that build. And then out that hallway also is a door that goes outside to the garden area where you can, grow your herbs and things. You'll probably want to lock that door too. It's just those two. There's the door I was talking about there. It's just those two doors that you would have to lock. Unless you want your customers and clients coming into this area, that's totally your choice. But it would just be those two that you would need to lock to keep the customers out. So a little sitting area here. This is the new couch and the new chairs from the pack, and of course the new rug. This one has a unicorn on it. In the last build, we used the one with the dragon on it, and I imagine I will continue to keep using that rug. I am waiting for a build or a room, probably a kid's room, somewhere where I can use the rug with the gnome on it. I'm excited to be able to fit that in somewhere. So here I'm just literally copying the bathroom from the up front bathroom, the guest bathroom, to back here. The only difference being, because this is for homeowners, I did put a shower in here, which I thought would be, appropriate, especially if you're out in the garden and you want to come in and shower off. I thought that would be a somewhat feasible thing to have in this downtown bathroom, or downstairs bathroom. Using the new curtains from the pack, I really did use a lot from this new pack. Everything is really gorgeous and really amazing. But then I wanted to use some other things. This desk here is from the Crystal Creations pack, but I felt it went good here. A lot of the things that come in this new pack with the moss all over it, I didn't think was appropriate for indoors, so I didn't use those. I didn't use that desk or the chairs. I did use the mirror from the pack, and it does have the moss all over it, but in the bathroom I think that looks more like leaves on there than it does moss if you get real close in there and take a look. But I just didn't want to use the desk and the chair. We used them in the other build, and I will use them in another build. Maybe something more outdoorsy, old, maybe a little bit creepy. Something like that. So just adding, and these cute little lights, I'm just adding these above the desk. Those did come with the pack. And I think the little office here for the homeowner, I think it turned out very sweet. It's very small, but totally workable. I'm just changing the color of the hallway so we don't have that gap in the paint from downstairs to upstairs. The rest of the rooms stayed the right color, so it's just this hallway that I'm changing the color in. And then this is a small 2-bedroom up here for the homeowner, kid's bedroom, and then the master bedroom. Now I hope you are liking all the builds that you're seeing with the new pack. I hope you're liking this build that you're seeing with the new pack. We have a lot of other builds on the channel, and we have a lot more builds coming up. We are finishing the Very Veggie Legacy Challenge. We are halfway through that, so we've got quite a few of those to go. And then we are going to be starting Tiny Town after those are done. So a lot of fun things happening on the channel, a lot of very exciting things I'm looking forward to. So I want you along to see everything, so go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, let your friends know that you're watching interesting content, and come along for the fun. It's going to be great. So I'm just putting together, like I said, a little kid's bedroom here with the new wallpaper, and I did find a carpet that went with it and a complementary wall color, kind of pulls in the green from that wallpaper. I didn't want to go too overboard. I didn't want to go with the pink or the purple. That was a little much. So I went with a softer green in here. It's still very nature orientated. Went with the soft blue and green bed. Those bring in those colors also. And then these little rugs, these little furry rugs with the flowers on them. I'm sticking with the nature theme. I wasn't sure, so I might be doubling up. This might not be something something you have to do, but I think the little nightlight, the little moon nightlight scares away the monsters. I wasn't sure, so I put in the other ones. So there's a lot of monster chasing nightlights in that room, which there's nothing wrong with that. So then over here to the master bedroom, and you can see I kind of started the bathroom upstairs. I didn't like the way the vibe was going. We're going to completely change that. So when I don't like what I'm doing, I stop and I move on to something else where I'm getting a better vibe of what I want, which was this bedroom, and I wanted it to be vibrant. Yeah, and I definitely wanted to use the new canopy bed from this pack. And then putting in some contrasting colors to go with the blues and the purples. Now this clothes rack does come from Horse Ranch, but I did put the clothes on it from Enchanted by Nature. Kind of a mix and match thing. I think it works well in here. And it does go well with the coordinating dresser that comes with the pack. So a lot of things, a lot of cross packs that we can use to go with the new items. And I think that's going to help a lot, being able to use them in other builds. Otherwise, the only time we would use this pack is either during gameplay or very specific builds like this one or the other, or the fairy house that we did. I know there are mushrooms on the side of that dresser, but I'm hoping because they're against the wall that we can just ignore that there's mushrooms growing on the side of the dresser. Both these bedrooms are, I wouldn't say they're bare. I would say that they're cozy and quiet, very quaint looking, but I don't suspect, other than sleeping, if Sims would be spending a lot of time up here. So I put most of the activities, obviously, downstairs near the apothecary shop. So then I just changed I took a little break, had a little lunch, had a little thought, and I finally figured out which direction I wanted to go in this bathroom. Kind of putting in like a wet room area here with the toilet and the shower blocked off, and then putting in a little vanity area next to the bathtub. It fits a lot in this bathroom. Sometimes you think bathrooms are too big, and then sometimes you think they're too small. As long as you think it through, I think you can get everything you want in a bathroom. It's not a room your Sims spend a lot of time in, but it's good that they look nice still. Use that floor again. I use that floor, like I said, in all the bathrooms. Kept with the oh, I didn't use that. I changed that out to yellow, didn't I? I did brighten up this bathroom. I remember that now. But yeah, I was gonna. That's what I didn't like about this floor, was it was too much. Because, see, this room was bigger than the two downstairs. That floor was too much. So I really only think I'm going to use that floor in smaller spaces. And that could just be me. I'm sure there's a lot of people who can figure out how to use that floor much better than I can right now. And maybe it'll come to me in the future. So while we're finishing up this bathroom and the hallway, we're going to put a few clutter things out here in the hallway before we move outside to the garden. And I think the garden turned out really great. I tried to keep it cohesive with the surrounding area, and I'll show you how we did that. So out here, this is just a little landing at the top of the stairs. It's not, what do I want to say? It's not a very useful space other than passing through to the bedrooms, but I did manage to fit in my favorite table. And if you've watched any or all of my videos, you'll know what my favorite table is, and I try and sneak it into every build that I can. These soft little lights, these little twinkly lights in the hallway, I thought they were very cute. Like little night lights in the hallway. In case you need to get up and go to the bathroom, you just have these little twinkly lights that shine the way. Yep, and there's my favorite table. And we are just going to clutter that up. This little acorn nightlight is adorable. Absolutely adorable. I wish it was one of the monster chasing ones, but it's not. It's just like a normal little nightlight, so I put it out here. Oh, there is an activity there. And of course we're going to put Bob up here in the hallway. Have to have my Bob. We're going to put him over here. I believe that's a bracelet making kit. So yes, there is an activity in that hallway. Don't forget the bin in the kitchen. So I do know that one of the most famous apothecaries that everybody knows is Nostradamus. And he wrote, before he wrote his book of prophecies that everybody likes to try and figure out when they, well, for some reason they figure them out after they come true, but not before. I'm not sure how that works. I think I saw a show on Nostradamus like once, like years and years ago. It was interesting. It kept my interest. I always have a lot more questions than I did answers when I watch shows like that. But he is quite famous, and he was an apothecary. Before he wrote his famous book, that's what he did. He studied herbal medicines, and he treated patients. He prepared treatments. During the plague, in France, he was a big part of trying to treat people, and he was a big part of that. But unfortunately, because he labeled himself as an apothecary, they wouldn't give him a medical degree or a medical license. So he had to go without it. So here, what we're going to do is I am just pulling out all of the items and trying to figure out the spacing for what I want to do in this garden area. I know I wanted some little round planters, and I know I wanted something for the children who live here, like a play area. But I also wanted a garden, and I also wanted somewhere for guests to sit. And then I pulled out the plants that I can see here in the neighborhood. So I knew what I wanted to do, and I pulled out all the items I knew I wanted to use. And then you're going to see the transformation. There it is. Here's our little garden. and it's very cute. We put the little I put the little gnomes in, and over by the house, sitting over here by the back steps, is the little gnome who will help take care of your garden for you. And it turned out super sweet and super cute. The whole house did. So thank you for this watching along, and remember, always keep it creative, keep it cozy, and I'll see you for our next build.